Hello, my name's Leah and I'm the Senior Advisor here at Norfolk Sendias. I'm going to do a really brief overview on the Independent Review Panel process. It's also sometimes referred to as an IRP. So I'm just going to really briefly go through that process today to hopefully give you a better understanding of what it entails. So the role of the Independent Review Panel is that following the Governor's meeting after a permanent exclusion, if the Governors decide to not reinstate that pupil, the role of the Independent Review Panel is to review that governing body's decision not to reinstate that excluded pupil, and to do so the panel must consider the interests and circumstances of the excluded pupil, including the circumstances in which that pupil was excluded. They must also have regard to the other pupils within the school or education setting and the people working within that setting. So here's a brief overview of the Independent Review Panel. So the Independent Review Panel itself will consist of either 3 or 5 members appointed by the local authority. The members must not be directly linked to the excluding school, and the local authority will appoint a clerk to the panel who will be able to advise the parties on relevant law and procedure for the review. If the excluding school is an academy, then a local authority representative will not be invited, but you can ask for one to come at the same time that you request the Independent Review Panel. And the Independent Review Panel must take place within 15 school days of the application. If a parent or carer believes that the exclusion is related to SEN needs, so if the child or young person has special educational needs and they feel that this was directly linked to the exclusion, then they can ask for a SEN expert to attend the Independent Review Panel, and this can be done at the same time that the parent or carer asks for the Independent Review Panel. So there's 3 decisions that the Independent Review Panel can make following that meeting. The first one is to uphold the exclusion. So this will end the challenge process unless the parent carer are also bringing a disability discrimination claim in the first tier tribunal or county court, or are bringing a claim for judicial review. The second outcome can be recommending reconsideration. This is where the Independent Review Panel sends the decision back to the school governors, and the governors must meet within 10 working days to reconsider that decision. If the governors reconsider the exclusion and still refuse to reinstate, there is no cost to the school. And the third option is that they redirect reconsideration, and that's where the Independent Review Panel quashes the governor's decision to uphold the exclusion and they send it back to be reconsidered. The governors must meet within 10 working days to reconsider that decision, and if the governors refuse to reinstate, then the Independent Review Panel will direct the school to update the student's record, to keep a note of their objections to the exclusion, and then they will order that school to make a payment of £4,000 to the local authority. So like I said, it's just a really brief overview of the Governor's Board meeting following a suspension or an exclusion. So if you still have questions, then we do offer some free training on suspensions and exclusions that's bookable via our website. And we also have a booklet about suspensions and exclusions that it goes into much greater depth about the process of suspensions and exclusions, and that's also available via our website, or you can always book an appointment to speak to our helpline advisor, and that would also be via our website.